Hey everyone, it's Lily.
Hi, it's Ashley.
Welcome to the chalkboard.
Virtual chalkboard because
Yeah.
it's been snowing today. So
Yeah, this is our third snow of the season.
it's been snowing for sure.
I
Yeah.
was driving today and as we were leaving, I actually did hang out this morning. But then
Yeah, in person.
as we were leaving, we saw a giant truck, slide down a hill. So that was cool. I was like, I'm turning around ASAP. So, but I still gotta go to work tomorrow. So,
Oh man, adulting. I actually don't have work tomorrow, at least in person, so I'll
yeah,
be working at home again for
yeah.
like the fourth time in 3 weeks, but it's fine.
I told my friend, I was like, yeah, I don't want to go into work tomorrow. And he was like, well, Lord did give us work. And I was like, well, that was convicting.
Oh, that's weird right there for sure.
Yep. Life can't always be an endless vacation, I guess.
I mean, it could,
I
but
mean,
no, he's right. Your friend's right.
yeah, we have things to do, people to see.
Hmm.
So what's up?
I don't know why I'm so awkward over Zoom, but I am. So
I
I,
literally
I just
am
want
too.
to apologize to all you people out there ahead of time because I don't know what it is. I
I don't
feel,
like that I can see myself. And then
yeah,
but then I turn off the self view, then I'm like, don't know if I like that I can't see myself.
right. Like there's no right answer
What is
here.
it?
Um, but why don't we start with a fun little trend that we saw on Instagram? And it's called Coffee with Your Younger Self. So we can go deep, we can go surface level,
I
but
like it. I like it.
what is something that you would tell your younger self if you were to get coffee with your younger self tomorrow morning?
Um, I thought this was super cute, but one of my friends, Carson, she posted a reel doing the trend and she said, oh gosh, I don't want to misquote it, but basically she was like, I've got coffee with my younger self. She ordered a cinnamon mocha or whatever, and I got a cappuccino. I thought that was so cute.
That is cute.
What I think like what I my order when I was really young, um, was classic vanilla bean frappuccino. I
Mm,
just loved a vanilla frap from Starbucks. And now I am either a matcha girly or just a regular iced vanilla latte.
okay.
This
I
fancy
I did know that
frappuccino
about
stuff.
you. Hmm.
Yeah.
You were one of those girls.
Once a vanilla girl, always a vanilla girl. So, what can I say?
If I got coffee with my younger self, she would probably get, I don't even know, probably like some sort of latte. I used to love like the holiday drinks at Starbucks. Very basic of
Yeah.
me. Um, and now it really just depends on the day. I mean, Lily knows sometimes I like a good little pour over from Shando Joe's black coffee. Some days I like a vanilla latte. It really
Yeah.
just depends. But I'm not a huge like iced coffee girl. It needs to be hot. Like even in the summer, I like a good hot coffee.
I want to be a hot coffee girl, but I love my iced drinks so much.
Even in the winter?
hmm
Hmm.
I know. And I used to be like a cappuccino in the summer kind of girl until literally last year.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened last summer, but I was like, I think I just want iced drinks all the time. So,
Yeah. You decided to start just being true to yourself.
no, literally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be this, like, I'm so cool. I get like cappuccinos in the summer. I don't know why, but like, I used to, like, in my head
That
be like,
like does that make you cool?
I don't know why, but in my head, I definitely thought I was cool for that.
Huh.
So,
Okay. Interesting.
just like a real coffee person, not
Right.
those iced latte, vanilla
Listen,
iced
not
latte.
everyone can be a real coffee person.
It couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could talk about that like for a while. I won't get into it, but
But like the people that just don't drink coffee at all, like honestly, respect. I've been drinking coffee since I was like a freshman in high school. Can't imagine life without it.
I want to not be addicted so bad. And I always tell myself I'm not, but then I think the fact that you tell yourself you're not means that you are.
Probably are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go a little deeper? What
I
would you
don't
tell
know. I don't know. No.
That's like it's tough. I mean, there's so so
There's
many things I would tell my younger self.
so many. Yeah. Earlier we were talking about um the trend and what we would talk about in the podcast, and we were both just kind of landing on friendship. Like friendship, I think, has been a really big one for the both of us. I think we've seen a lot of amazing, what the Christians would say, fruit of friendship in our lives. How would you phrase it? Like if you were getting coffee with your younger self.
It's tough.
I know.
I think, I mean, this is a phrase we've said several times throughout the podcast, but be intentional about who you surround yourself with.
Mm,
And it's okay to feel like you don't fit in. I know I went through that big time when I was in middle and high school. Just never really feeling like I had a place and never really feeling like I had a friend group. Like I was just kind of
um,
like the nice girl that bopped around to different people in different friend groups, and it was fine. But I left high school and just felt kind of lonely. And I see, my high school girls and my middle school girls going through the same thing at the school I work at, where it's a smaller school and it's hard sometimes to kind of just find your people. Um, but I will say, looking back on high school and middle school, I ended up with two really great girlfriends that I still keep in touch with to this day that would do literally anything for me. And that's so much more valuable than feeling like you're fitting in with the popular group or whatever. And that's carried forward to today too. I mean, just again being intentional about who I'm putting around me. And that's led to my friendship with Lily. It's led to this podcast. It's led to all these girls that, we're in life group with that just know me and know Lily on a deep level. And that's rare to find, I think.
yeah,
It takes a lot of intentionality. That's been kind of my word for 2025. Um, yeah, just a lot of intentionality.
I love it.
What about for you?
Um, yeah, I think I can I can hear my younger self saying to me like it just sucks and this is really hard.
Yeah.
And like are we ever gonna like make friendships that are like that stick around?
Mhm.
Um and I want to go back and like hug little me and be like it's gonna be okay. Like
It's gonna
you're
be
gonna
okay.
find really awesome people.
Yeah.
It's hard to have this perspective when you're in middle and high school, but you don't really get to choose a lot of times like your school or
Right.
choose. I mean, you don't really get to choose the people you're around all the time. And so I tried really hard to be friends with the people that I was just making the most of it, like when I went to high school, like I tried being friends with multiple groups of people because I was trying to find like my friends and
And
whoever
in the moment,
would.
that feels like it's everything
Mhm.
because that's who you're around all the time. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's your whole world and you don't can't necessarily drive yourself. My parents were super strict growing up, so they'd be like, you can host it here, but then sometimes people
yeah,
didn't live by or people that I did like lived 40 minutes away, so it wasn't convenient. Back then you're like, it's only 40 minutes. And now that I'm 28, I'm like, oh my gosh, my poor
yeah,
parents,
yeah.
the things we put them through. But yeah, I feel like it's hard to be like there's one solid thing that I'd give myself advice on.
Hmm.
It's just so I've said this before on the podcast, but it's just like it's so everything is so case by case. And
Right.
I had sent Ashley this thread, and I posted it on my Instagram too, that my pastor Andrew Gard in Florida, he love him, love him. He always posts the best stuff on Instagram. He'll post like these like note threads from his notes every now and then. And he's put like some thoughts on friendship. And I'm just gonna read some of them because I think that they're helpful. Maybe we can talk about them a little deeper.
That is so good. I'm just
Yeah. Um, the second one is develop the ability to be genuinely happy for the wins of others. If you can't, don't be surprised when not many are there to celebrate yours. And I think this goes back to the episode with Amber, where we were talking about how sometimes like having that conversation with someone can be really helpful.
right,
I think what I found, like beyond that, I think what I found is that I can be a jealous person and not wanting to admit to myself that I'm jealous about, whatever someone has or like their abilities, their talents. And when I am honest with myself about like, oh, that's actually rooted in jealousy, I've
right,
seen the Lord come in and help me really be able to just celebrate others.
right.
Because it's not about what I can do, it's about or just my life. God is doing stuff in other people's lives too. Like
Mhm.
it's worth celebrating what God is doing in your life, in our friend in our life group's life, the girls that I went to college with, like things like that. It's not just like it can be very me focused. And
Right,
can forget that God is also doing his own work in other people's lives. And so when I remove that and I give that to the Lord, it allows me to have friendships that I'm celebrating them and they're celebrating me. And it's not about who's showing up for who more or
right,
keeping score of like, okay, well, I showed up to this thing and why didn't you show up to that thing? It just becomes like, oh, I'm going to live celebrating all the time
Mhm.
and give people the benefit of the doubt if they can't come to something or
Yeah, yeah. We're all adults. We're all busy, and we're
Mhm.
all trying our best. And like you can't keep score. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been in those environments where things are competitive, kind of like women to women, and it's not a fun place to be in.
Yeah. And imagine if God kept score with us.
I know. Yeah,
We'd be
I,
in trouble. I'd be in trouble.
I would be. Yeah, it would not be good.
Yeah. Okay, point three was do what you can when your friends fall on their face. I've seen too many people run away from their friends when they crash, and it saddens me.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just I've learned in life that grace is so important for people,
Yeah.
and um, obviously forgiveness kind of goes hand in hand with that. But we're all human. We all mess up, and I would hope for me, if I was that person that fell on my face, even if I made a mistake and treated someone poorly in the past, I would hope that they could look past that and give me grace and be there for me when I need them.
Yeah.
But, the Lord asks us to do the same for others. Just like you said, I mean, He's not keeping score with us. He gives us unconditional grace and for unconditional forgiveness. And, you know, I know in the last episode we talked about kind of the sanctification process that is life. And it really is learning how to become more and more like Jesus. And it's not easy sometimes. It's really not.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. I think about the other guys, a lot of the other guys I've dated, not all of them, but a lot of them, I'm just like, what was I
Yeah,
thinking?
literally a
And
mood.
straight up have been like that, like in the moment, been like, he's gonna be my husband. I just know it. I
I
just
just
know
know
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Like whenever people tell stories of like, and I knew that was gonna be my husband. I'm like, I wish I knew because When I was dating those guys, like I really thought.
Yeah.
And I would tell my friends, like, I just know, and then I'd give them the most vile story of something that, okay, maybe not the most vile, I'm being dramatic. But
All
like I
right.
would tell them stuff of like what we would talk about or something he would
Right.
tell me. It wouldn't be nice.
Right.
I'd be like, but like he's just
Like, yeah. But it's
and when
just so
I yeah, when I think about how gracious my girlfriends have been walking me through that, I'm like, I learned a lot
yeah.
of like what to say, what not to say,
Mhm.
what how to pray, how to really pray for someone and how to really be there for someone because I know my friends, right, and rightfully so, were judging the situation, but they wouldn't necessarily always tell me.
Yeah.
And just knowing that they love me unconditionally through that,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I
is
think it's sometimes better not to say something. That's another thing I've learned is like
yeah,
everyone's on their own journey in life. And
yeah,
yeah, obviously, as friends, part of our job is to hold each other accountable and to make sure,
100%.
we're being obedient to the Lord in all that we do. But along the same lines, everyone's on a journey and people need to have the space to make decisions for themselves. And, that's only going to happen in their own quiet time with the Lord. So that's another thing I've learned too. Um, Accountability is great,
Mhm.
1000%, but really like the power of prayer is so much more powerful than us trying to call someone out on something when who knows, 2 months down the line, we could find ourselves in the same exact situation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it's like having discernment and praying of when to know when do I say something and when do I not say something. Because also like I have found myself wanting to say something about someone
yeah,
and going, whoa, wait a second.
yeah,
Like when does it become gossip? Or when is it
yeah,
pride? Like, do I think I'm better than so and so or whoever this person's dating or whatever? Like I do think there's a time and place, right? Like sometimes we do have to tell our friend lovingly, like, hey, just I really don't think that this is God's best for you
hmm,
because sometimes you're blind. You're blind to it. You don't
for sure.
get to see. But I've seen with like especially my friends Christina and Maria, them very lovingly asking questions and being like, okay, so when he said this thing,
Right.
what did you feel? And
Yeah.
then me telling them like, oh well, I was like really hurt about it. So that
Like
hurt.
it's fine.
Yeah, that hurt. Like, is that any kind of indicator for you?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, yeah, my mom
Oh, we love Hazel. Shout out to Hazel.
last week, she goes, You need to start asking more discovery questions.
Oh,
And
is this the Discovery Channel?
I'm like, you know what? Don't love the phrasing, but I love the idea where it's like, sometimes you're just gonna ask yourself more questions or
Yeah.
ask people more questions or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like, it's okay to ask questions and really like, what is God's heart? And ask the Lord, like come to the Lord with a lot of those things with your friendships because yeah, you want to be there for the people that God has like placed in your life.
Hmm.
I think it's just like part of stewarding your friendships. Like God has called us to be stewards of our really good stewards of here on earth. And when he trusts you with like the little, he can trust you with more. And I think a lot of times I found myself wanting, when I was younger, wanting more friends because I was so lonely and I
Right.
was realizing like, oh, like I'm actually not stewarding my talents well. And that's something that could fill up my time. I'm not really stewarding my friendships well. Like I'm just kind of bip bopping around, not
Right.
really intentional. I'm like always afraid. And uh, you know, I think being like you were saying, being intentional, like stewarding what God has given you. And like not every friendship's gonna last, unfortunately. Like some friends are only there for your high school season or only there for your college season or a coworker friend or if literally just while they live in the same town as you. Like it's impossible to keep up with every single person you've ever been friends with. But you can still be all in and be a really great friend when you just show up to that moment with that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I like what you said about stewarding your talents because I think when you do that, again, intentionally putting yourself in environments and situations around good people, like you're going to naturally attract the people that you should be around. And I think I learned that in college when I was playing college basketball. Things were tough. I was injured a lot. I wasn't really playing, and I needed an outlet, and so I started leading Young Life, and ended up making some of like my best friends from college in that environment. And something our air director said one time is when you're doing hard things together, when you're trying to accomplish a goal together, especially if it's a goal for the Lord and trying to be obedient to Him, you're naturally going to form great friendships and great bonds because you're doing something hard together or you're
Yeah,
stringing your talents together. So I think I love that point that you made, where, you know, living your life and letting God take you by surprise, as we've said before on the podcast. And He's certainly done that in my life this past year in terms of friendships.
yeah.
Um, yeah, a lot has changed in the last 6 months, but like in a good way, and just have so many great girls around us, which
I
I'm so.
can't cry right now, Ash. I
I know
can't.
I'm trying not to cry either,
Oh,
but
don't do it. Don't do it.
not today. We're over Zoom. It just doesn't feel like, yeah,
I can't cry right now. I
yeah.
can always cry.
You can always cry for sure. For
Uh,
sure.
um, yeah, no, I think I've been feeling very blessed the last, I guess I started our life group like with Chris about a little over a year ago.
Mhm.
And the trajectory of my life, I feel like has changed completely and of my mindset about friendships. Um, yeah, I can't we need another episode to really get into to even like the process of the life group and stuff like that. And we got to get Chris on here to
We
talk
gotta
about.
get Chris. I think it'd be really good to get um some of these people we keep talking about, like
I
just our
know.
friends on here. Um, Definitely some guys as well. We've
Yeah.
been really blessed with just a great co-ed group, and something Lily and I talk about a lot is just how great the guys are in our group, and
Yeah.
I think that's really healthy for women to have good guy friendships in their life,
And
uh,
vice versa too.
and vice versa. I mean, I think it's good for
Yeah.
everyone involved. So that's been refreshing as well, and
Yeah.
something that I really love about our life group.
And like really just being the person that you want to be surrounded by, I think has been the probably like my biggest thing that I've had to come to terms with, you know?
Mhm.
Because it's easy to blame people and easy to say like, okay, well, like they didn't really get what I was saying and all this stuff. That I think when you go back and you're like, what kind of person do I want to be? Um, and and do and having the discipline to do that, I
Yeah,
think you're naturally gonna see that other people like you will come around you. And also God's, I think, gonna put people in your life that are gonna be blessed by that gift and by the way that you live your life. And they might not always be close friends, and that's okay.
yeah.
Sometimes a friendship looks like, how are you every few months? Sometimes a friendship looks like, can I go grocery shopping for you this week? Sometimes a friendship looks like grabbing breakfast in the morning. Like there's no formula and yeah, there's no formula, but I think
There's
just
no one size fits all for friendship. I
no.
mean, I have friends that I still consider some of my best friends that I don't talk to on a regular basis, but when we do
Yeah.
talk, we pick up like right where we left off, like nothing
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah, it's sweet too. Um, yeah. I'm gonna leave us with five and then I have a quick hot take for us.
Okay, we
Okay.
have 5 minutes left on the Zoom.
This slide says you can't have great friendships without using words like my fault, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, do you need anything, and how are you? So if you want more on the friendship slides, go to at Andrew Gard on Instagram. He has really awesome ones. And maybe Ash and I will get creative and create a little graphic ourselves. Who knows? Who
Really
knows?
fun. Those are all good words. Probably should
Yeah.
use them more.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you. Thank you's a big one.
for sure.
Okay, hot take.
Okay, let's do it.
Coffee. You said you like holiday drinks.
Yeah.
So, how soon is too soon for the PSL?
Boy. So, um, I like a pumpkin spice latte a lot because like
Mhm.
fall is by far my favorite season. I just love everything about it. Um, One of my high school girls asked me the other day what my favorite month was, and I said November because I love the fall. I love the changing leaves. I love holidays, whatever. But love a pumpkin spice latte. Definitely not iced, for sure hot.
No, gotta
Um,
have that hot.
no, absolutely not. I think for me, I try to wait until like October. But if I'm feeling a little risky, then I'll do it in September. But
Whoa. I
uh,
am a first day of fall. Like, I
oh,
cannot drink anything fall spice related before fall, the first day of fall.
I think it just depends for me. Like it's a daily decision. Like if it's starting to get a little cool out, got a little crisp air, you know, then I'm gonna get a pumpkin spice
A
latte.
crisp air.
So I don't know how to answer your question. That's not like a super, I'm not super passionate.
There are people that start drinking it in August.
That's insane.
It's not okay.
It's not. That's still summertime.
It's still summer.
Um,
People drinking that stuff in August. Some people drink it year round. They made it so that you can drink it year round, which means the
hmm.
demand was there.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be their most popular drink.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
I love a peppermint mocha. They have like a chestnut praline. So
That
good.
one was so good.
Oh, good. I'm trying to think. They haven't had much recently because like February, well, I guess you have Valentine's Day, but like once you get past Christmas and New Year's, it's just like a weird time.
Yeah, Wawa apparently released their spring and summer drinks, and I'm like, we're not even anywhere near summer. Can we hold back?
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
the
I can
rush?
understand spring maybe, but definitely not summer.
Definitely not summer. But anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, leave them in the
Concerns.
there's a comment section on Spotify, YouTube. Our DMs are open.
If you guys have any topics that you want us to address in future episodes, would love that.
Yeah.
We love to answer questions. Um, I think we definitely will get into friendships a little bit more too on
Yeah.
future episodes and try to bring some people around as well so you guys can put faces to names.
And definitely once again shout out to Wes Harris for making our whole
Gosh,
theme song.
so good. You guys have to go back and listen to it, like actually listen to it and hear like the chalkboard sounds
It's
in the
so
background. So good.
all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Have a good rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.